Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. We are back. We're here for another great day, ready to get after it. We will be missing Steve Nudelberg as he is on a plane to Princeton, New Jersey to do some more speaking and engaging. Good luck to you on your flight, sir. Hope it goes well.
Shout out to our friends at Aventura Worldwide for
what's that?
Aventura Worldwide for the transportation.
Aventura Worldwide for offering him the ride and getting him there safely, saving him from having to go valet and possibly be in a full panic.
Right.
As he
doesn't have a travel companion who normally runs all of that.
Do we trust that he can travel alone at this point?
No. So no joke. He looked at me last night and goes, "Do you want to buy a ticket and come?" And I was like, "No, I do not. Thank you."
Oh, so good morning. We'll be missing him today.
Grandpa is on his break, a well-earned couple of days off from the huddle. It's actually going to be the two of us for the rest of the week.
For the rest of the week, even Friday?
Even Friday. He said he's taking a break.
Wow, he's taking a break?
Yeah.
Who said he could take a break?
Listen, I don't put up a fight when the head man says something.
Yeah. No, but good morning to everybody as everybody comes in. Had a great day yesterday. I want to give a shout out to Ann Gottwald. Had the opportunity to catch up with her. She was one of my first clients at On the Ball, and just a great call yesterday. She has some phenomenal things going on, what she's working on and her project, and it was just great to catch up with her. So a reminder to everybody that whether you're friends and you see each other around every once in a while, but you haven't had really 30 or 45 minutes to really catch up with each other, it's worth the time because you never know what gets brought up, but you really enjoy the conversation. So Steve Nudelberg is here and he's fine, but he's on YouTube, so I don't really know if he's that fine.
Maybe LinkedIn doesn't load on the plane.
He texted me. He's like, "Is LinkedIn working?" I was like, "Yeah, all good here."
Everybody else has it working. We've got lots of comments coming in. Good morning, Casey Delapenna and Chris White.
Started a new coaching client yesterday. Is that correct?
We did, yeah. So On the Ball added an offer doll to the roster yesterday. Shout out to, and I should have told you, Shay, grab the picture that I posted this morning. But shout out to Drew Offerdahl, who is a member of the Denison Yachting Crew, for joining the On the Ball roster. We had a fantastic first session yesterday. Started at Fresh Kitchen, as rightfully so, and went from Fresh Kitchen to the office, got on the whiteboard, and just laid a great foundation for where we're going to go together, talking about organization, talking about time management, talking about building the structure for him to have some repeatable processes, and then we'll obviously dive into all of the biz dev and sales stuff. But just the energy was really great, and it was really great to be in person. I love coaching. I love, the virtual stuff, but there is nothing like doing it in person. And of course, there it is. There's Drew.
Whoa.
And you can see the whiteboard behind us. We were absolutely going insane.
And you guys both come from that football world, so it's really natural to get on that board together,
And keeping the Offerdalls in the family, because Dad used to work with John Offerdahl way back when in the day. I'm not sure if that was an ABC Cellular. I don't know if that was a early On the Ball day. I don't know. I got no idea from when it was. But we're running over. Let's get to some wake-up music. Let's come back, and then we got a great day of content for you. We're going to hit a lot of headlines.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in there. No more back to thinking, top of thinking ahead. Come on now.
So Chris White asked the question, why do I look so rested? A couple reasons. We hired a night nurse, which is very important, right? Because she is a huge help with the baby during the night. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not waking up every 3 hours still. I think that my body has become accustomed to just working in sleeping in 3-hour sprints.
There are studies that say that is equivalent to getting like a full night's sleep or something along those lines.
So, and yes, correct, Jeremy Turisk. I sent Christy a video yesterday saying happy birthday. I'm sorry that we missed it yesterday while we were on the huddle, but happy belated to her as well. Hope you guys had a great time celebrating yesterday, and I'm sure we'll see some of the pictures on social media today. But so today we are doing Huddle headlines. I know that you've written some headlines for us to cover, but before we get to those, let's start in the entertainment world, the sports and entertainment world. Congratulations to the Miami Heat for closing out the series against the Atlanta Hawks last night and moving on to the next round. And, you know, those who do things the right way get rewarded. They get a full week off, basically. Like, they don't play again until maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week. So got time to get the legs back.
It's hard not to talk about Victor Oladipo and his story and his resiliency. For those of you who don't know the story, he had 2 quadricep surgeries that many people said probably would keep him out forever and he would never be the same kind of player. He, for the lack of a better term, bet on himself and took a minimum deal to stay with the Heat, rehab, and everybody was making a big deal at the end of the season. Why aren't you in the rotation? And constantly pegging him, trying to get him to say something bad about the organization, that the team didn't like him. And he said, look, I'm just going to continue to control what I can control. And when they give me an opportunity, I'm going to be ready. And so the first opportunity came at the end of the regular season where he had to play with a bunch of players who will never see the court in the playoffs. And he scored a bunch of points. And everyone was like, you're going to be in the rotation now. You're going to be a part of the team, blah, 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 blah. Smo says, look, you're not going to be a part of the rotation for the first couple games. We'll wait. We'll see how it goes. Whether, lo and behold, Jimmy Butler gets hurt. Kyle Lowry gets hurt. Victor Oladipo gets inserted into the starting lineup. And Victor Oladipo won us a playoff game.
Unreal. I mean, and let's give credit where credit is due. The team is deep. Right. I mean, Max Strus steps up and hits some big shots last night.
Caleb Martin played
out of his mind last night. And so back to the point, and I want to stay on basketball for a second, because you watched a very highly talented basketball team in the Brooklyn Nets get bounced in 4 straight games. Talent does not win you championships. Talent is a part of the formula, but it is not the end all be all. There is ample talent in Brooklyn. They couldn't find a way to win a game, whereas you have a team that is built around the culture of winning and what it means to work together, what it means to do your job. I'm actually reading The Dichotomy of Leadership again, which a lot of these principles are in there. That's what makes the Heat so good. Is it's not that they're overly talented, it's that they play so well together and they play so hard.
And if you watch the bench during the game, other NBA teams, and I'm not going to say any names, Ben Simmons, when Ben Simmons sits on the sideline, Ben Simmons is not coaching. Ben Simmons is not helping anybody. He is sitting there for his own pure enjoyment, collecting paychecks. When you watch the Heat and Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry aren't playing, like, another player got a technical because he tried to play defense as a bench player. He was standing outside and tried to help, and it was a dumb decision. But you see the bench, they're up, they're animated, they're invested in the other people, happy for other people's success. I mean, Jimmy looked like the happiest guy in the room watching Victor Oladipo play well. So it's rewarding because it's our team, but there's so many lessons to be learned from it.
Total homer about it. But it's nice when your home team is actually doing things the right way and you see, those principles, those leadership principles and the disciplines of winning, or those disciplines of what we know make people successful happening right in your backyard, and you get to enjoy the spoils of that because your squad is doing the winning. So congratulations to the Heat. And hopefully we get the Raptors. I don't know. Maybe not hopefully we get the Raptors. Maybe we want.
They play 10 games. I don't know. Just let them keep playing for a while.
Right. So what do we got next? What's the next Huddle headline? Shay, do you want to give us the Huddle headline music? Oh, actually, one more thing. In entertainment headlines, okay, spoiler alert for anybody that watches This Is Us, Kevin ends up with Sophie. And for those of you that are This Is Us fans, talk about perseverance, talk about just dedication, talk about overcoming obstacles. Kevin and Sophie ending up together is a major headline. And This Is
I have
Us.
no idea what you're talking about. I don't know who Sophie is. I'm happy for them, I think.
So this is a McDaniel moment for me. My group chat from college was blowing up this morning about the This Is Us, and some people were getting made fun of because they watch it, and some people weren't. And Mike Maloney gives a shout out and goes, "Would you please talk about Kevin and Sophie on the Huddle this morning?" Had to do it. Had to get it in there.
Unreal, because I have no idea. I do before we get to the next one, Ozarks comes out this Friday, and I am very excited.
Oh, wow.
And it probably will occupy my entire weekend. But anyway, Shay, let's get to some Huddle headline music, and then we'll get to the content.
Let's go.
All right,
Huddle headline.
first
This
one,
is a great one.
This post went absolutely viral on LinkedIn, and it is also National Tell a Story Day, so we're gonna wrap both into one. Here's a guy, and you can probably pronounce it better than me, Arsh Nandan Prasad.
Nice, well done.
That's the best I'm gonna go with. When you
Well
give your
done.
best in the interview but are not selected for the mere fact that you are going through a rough patch in your life, certainly shows how generous these companies are. As the recruiters come to know that I'm fighting cancer, I see the change in their expressions. I just don't need your sympathy. I am here to prove myself. So this is a guy who was diagnosed, or I did a little backstory, was a big time lawyer at a firm, and it didn't fit his culture. So he decided to make a change. And as he made the change, he got diagnosed with cancer and had to unfortunately leave that job. And he posted his story about doing the work in the hospital bed and just needing a chance, and didn't want people to look at him as a cancer patient. Wanted people to say, look, I'm here and I'm going to do the work no matter what the circumstances are. This post went absolutely viral. 100,000 people sharing their stories about dealing with cancer, and being in the workforce. People started rallying around him. And one CEO, it's another name that there is no chance I'm going to pronounce.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one.
And I can't even pronounce the company either. But he commented on the post and said, "Hey, stop working at your treatments. I looked at your resume. You're overqualified. When you're done, you have a job with us."
So I'm going to say it's Nilesh Satput is the CEO, and the company is Maharashtra, a tech company based in a cloud computing tech company. So, but amazing story. And so I think this is the power, and this is why I love being on LinkedIn, is because you get to see this kind of content go viral. I shared on Monday, I wrote my post about paternity leave, right? And I wrote it because it was important to me. What I had learned from being off for 2 weeks, spending that time with Jules and Gabby and being a part of it. I wrote that post because it was a story about what I had gone through and what I thought, and it resonated with so many people. It's still going. It's got over 600 likes, over 30,000 views. But the thing I love most about it was there were more and more people sharing their maternity and paternity leave stories on that post. And then I started connecting with them saying, "Hey, thanks for sharing your story." We started having conversations about paternity leave. That's what the platform is all about. It's sharing what's relevant to you, sharing what matters to you, telling a story, and allowing other people to connect with that story, and then developing relationships and meeting new people based off of that story that you told. It's great stuff.
And I think there's a lot of times that you're in the middle of something and you don't think that anybody else is experiencing it. Oh, wow, this is happening. And I know you've been dealing with it a lot. You guys are on Google. When you're raising a baby, like Google becomes your best friend, or the apps that you guys use. It's like, well, is this happening to anybody else? People suffer. You just don't know, because people keep the stories to themselves instead of sharing it building communities where people can talk through it, have
It's
issues.
one of the biggest objections that we get when we start working with people and we start talking about producing content is, why would anybody care about that? Because they're going through it too. And you just don't know who's going to see it. You don't know who's going to read it. You don't know where it's going to land. And even if it's just one person that it lands with and it resonates with them and it makes them feel a little bit better, or it makes them feel like they can relate to it and something comes of that, even if it's just that feeling of being a part of the same moment and having a shared experience, why would you not want to do that? That's what social media should be about.
Right. And it's almost like a giant town hall. And I know we had talked about that one of our clients who we were helping them walk through the strategy of hosting a town hall. It's very similar. You all come from kind of similar walks of life and will deal with the same things. So why not post it and get some feedback?
Town halls are for the communities, right? Every community has a town hall where all of the residents of the community come, they sit down, they talk about the things that are problems, they talk about the things that are going well, they use it as a place to problem solve together. You have the opportunity to start a town hall meeting every single day with your LinkedIn profile. All you have to do is take a story, share a story, and allow it to resonate with your audience and anybody else out there. So I love on National Tell a Story Day. It's a fantastic Huddle headline for us.
Also today, we'll move on and then we'll break it up a little. We'll get to some motivational music. It is Tom Petty's birthday. So Shay, take us to some motivational music.
Go.
Driving, trees went by, me and Del were singing Little Runaway. I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. Felt so good, like anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rub my eyes. The last 3 days, and the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery.
So quick fun fact.
Yeah.
So when I was playing JUCO ball in the Panhandle, our head coach, like Tom Petty was the only thing like we could listen to. Getting batting practice, like anything in practice, like that was
Tom Petty was it.
When he was not there, that's when we
got to listen to anything else. At least it was Tom Petty though.
I was saying it could be way worse.
Yeah,
way worse.
Yeah. So I'll be like knowing every song.
Been a part of those meetings, where it's way worse.
That song brings back very vivid memories for me of sitting on the team bus, driving into games, because that was always on my pregame playlist, because that's the way that I felt, and I wanted to remind myself of that moment all the time of running down the dream, right? That dream is that championship. This is another opportunity for us to get there. And music moves you. Music is great, and the lyrics are fantastic.
There's a lot of really good music out there, and we'll probably not get to the next part of content, and we might even talk about Petty for the next 3 minutes. And it is National Tell a Story Day, but there's not a lot of music that moves you. And like every song he created somehow found a way. Free Fall,
lyrics were so
Won't Back Down. Like he has an entire stadium that sings about it at the end of the third quarter, and it's just fascinating that he took so much pride in producing that.
I mean, that chorus of running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, like that to me is about process. Like that to me it's not about getting the actual dream. It's about the running down of the dream. It's about the work. It's about being involved in this process. It's about getting all these twists and turns coming at you and just keep trying to solve the problem and keeping going, like that jacks me up. And so when I hear it, it's like, you know, it moves you and you're like, yeah, let's go. And of course, Dad is pumped about him being a Gainesville boy.
Well, Dad has switched back to LinkedIn, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that. So he's checking all of the streams for us.
I love it. Isn't he supposed to be on a plane by now?
Yeah, who knows?
So the last Huddle headline, you want to talk about it real quick? Because I do think
we'll talk about it. Right. So if you've lived under a rock, I don't know, but Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion, which if you have $44 billion, I don't know if I'm buying Twitter, but it has created this huge conversation about free speech and about, you know, what kind of speech you use on social media, what is law, what is not. And I thought Adam Grant did a great job of saying something that I really agree with. You have the right to free speech. You also have the freedom to stay silent when you have an ignorant opinion or a cruel thought. The solution to bad speech isn't more speech, it's better speech. And where I immediately go is I think of other social media platforms that have allowed free speech. And I think of the first one is, what was the one that was where you spoke? Clubhouse. Right. And I think it creates this fuel or a lot of information that isn't true. And people just get the right to spew misinformation, and that's not free speech.
So look, anybody has the right to say whatever they want to say, right? Having the right and having responsibility are two different things, right? And I think that's what Adam Grant is getting at, is you have the right to say whatever you want, but you have the responsibility of when you speak to make sure that it's educated, to make sure that it's founded in some kind of facts that have been vetted, to make sure that it's in a way that's not preaching hate, but it's preaching growth and preaching movement. And that responsibility does not get held up by everybody who chooses to speak. And this happened on my paternity post, right? So I put that out there, and this lady from Kentucky comes on and goes, I hate posts like this. What are you saying? That people who don't have access to maternity leave are stupid? And I was like, so I checked myself, because I could have then gotten into a war of words right there. Right.
Reaction.
I didn't. Right. I didn't. I came back, and all I said is, hey, that was not my intention with this post. I'm sorry if it rubbed you the wrong way. Here's the link to the actual study with all of the scientific data that we're talking about. And we're not talking about intelligence. We're talking about brain activity and brain function early in development. Do you know what happened to that comment on my post? She deleted it. She deleted it. And so that to me was a win. She may have read it, not thought about it, and just responded. And because I didn't come back with hate and fire, because I came back with maybe better speech and trying to figure out a way to have that conversation, she then took it down.
Right. It should be an education piece. Differing opinions are great in society.
So here's my concern with one person owning Twitter. And then we can move on after this, or we can close the show out after this. Is the government has checks and balances. Most organizations have checks and balances. The CEO has to answer to the board. The board has to answer to each other. There's lots of different decision making that has to happen to try to keep people in moving in the right direction. When one guy is making the decision and making all the decisions, he might not be making the best decisions, and there's nobody there to put him in check. So
I think you might see a little bit of that with the Tesla stock from yesterday, if anybody saw that.
Tesla stock absolutely tanked.
I think they lost $114 billion yesterday.
Unbelievable. So crazy stuff going on in the world. Always glad to talk about it and share insights on it. Hope that you guys continue the conversation. Jake, great job setting up the show for success today. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Get to do it again tomorrow.
Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this.